In this video, we'll be looking at client notes. We use the notes section of Chintaro to record any information that we might want to keep on file about our interactions with our clients. Examples of this may be to record what we did when a client went into arrears, the details of a phone call we had with our client, when we went to a tribunal hearing, and so on. To view the notes for a particular client, from the home screen, we click Client in the toolbar, search for our client, and double-click on their row to open their client record. The Notes section is at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, and here we can see that a number of notes have been made for our client. Some of these have been entered manually, and some of them have been created by the system automatically. If we double-click on any of the different note rows here, it brings up the Note Details pop-up, which contains all of the details of this interaction, such as the date, the note type, note body, and so on. We'll have a look at all of the fields in a note by adding a note now. So we'll close this one and add a new note by clicking the Add Note button here. This brings up an empty client note pop-up, and the first field here is for the date of the note. This will default to today's date, but we're able to change this date if required by removing the date and entering it, or using the calendar icon here. Next, we have the Note Type field, where we select the type of note this is, and this can be helpful to group different types of notes together for reporting. When we drop this list down, we see several different note types, such as arrears, general, maintenance, next of kin, and so on. Your Chintaro system administrator is able to add new note types or remove unwanted note types. So if there's something you'd like to add, ask them to add it for you. Let's say that we've phoned John Lennon and left him a message, so we'll select Phone Call from the Note Type drop-down band. Then we enter a note title that will be a short description of the note, as the full description will go into the body of the note. The note title is what will appear on the client screen, so we'll enter Phone Call Re-Application Waiting List. We can now enter the information about the note in the note body, and in this example, we will say, Called John regarding his application to be placed on the waiting list. No answer, left voicemail on answering machine. If we have a file or folder that we want to link to this note, we can do this by clicking Add Edit Link, typing a link name, and clicking either folder or file, depending on what we would like to link. We have John's housing application here, so we'll click File and navigate to where it's located in our network. We click Open and Save, and now whenever we open this note, we will be able to click this hyperlink to see John's application form. At the bottom of our note, we can record the time we've spent on this note in minutes, and this is used if we want to track how long it's taken to deal with this note. If we don't want to record how long we're spending on notes, we leave this field blank. When we're ready to add the note to the client screen, we click the Add button here. As we continue to add more notes, or the system creates more notes to our client screen, they'll begin to fill up this large note section here. The default is for notes to appear in descending date order, meaning the closer to the top they are, the more recent they are. We can filter these notes by using the same sorting or filtering techniques seen in previous videos by using the black arrow in the column headings. Some of these notes have been manually entered in by us, but there are also notes that are automatically added by the system, and examples of these are when we change a client's address, when we perform an arrears action, or when a tenant vacates a property. Chintaro will automatically create a note and put it in here. Chintaro will also create a note for our clients when we send an email, SMS, or generate a letter for them, and notes remain on a client screen for as long as the client exists in Chintaro. As a client moves from one property to another, notes will follow them so that a complete history of our organisation's activity with our client will be recorded. Now that we've added a note, let's have a look at some of the other things we can do with them. If we open the note we just added by double-clicking on the row, We see in the blue boxes that we have the ability to print the note by pressing the print button, or email the note to tenancy managers in the system by clicking the email button. We may also want to add some additional text in the note body section and click Update. We can copy notes over to one or more clients if this note was the same for others, and this would prevent us having to key in the same notes for other clients. We can also transfer notes, and if we click Transfer this note, we have two options. If the note was created against the wrong client, we can transfer it to the correct client by clicking their name in this box and clicking Transfer to Selected Client. If we have made a note by mistake, or we want to remove it completely from the client screen, we can transfer it to the client note buffer. The buffer account in Chintaro is like a recycling bin. We rarely delete anything out of the database because we may want to find it again, but we can transfer to the buffer if we want to remove it from a client screen. So let's click Transfer to Client Notes Buffer. Chintaro will ask if we're sure, and when we click Yes, we see the note is now gone. The notes that have been transferred to the buffer can be found again in our audit, and we'll have a look at this in a later video. We can print a complete note history for our client by clicking the Print Note History button here, and we'll look at client note reports also in a later video. If we want to view all the notes made for all clients in the system, we go back to the home screen, into Clients and Client Notes. This screen will show us every client note that's been made in the system, and again, we can sort and filter this screen to find the information we're after. Let's say we want a report on how many phone calls we've had with the clients this month. We filter the note type column to phone call, then filter the date column to date filters and this month. We can now use this outside of Chintaro by clicking either the print or export buttons at the top of the screen. In the next video, we'll be looking at how to turn these notes into action notes as a task to follow up.